Hi, I'm Walt Haight. Welcome to Arts Alive here on McMinnville Community Media. Well, today we're going to be talking about live theater here in McMinnville. So why don't you go out right now, grab that paper and pencil, because I'm going to throw a few dates at you, dates and times, for the upcoming production of And Then There Were None, Murder Mystery by Agatha Christie. And joining me today to talk about this next show, two members of the production is Claire Snyder, director, and Katrina, Godderz, actor. So welcome to the show.
Hello.
Well, we're going to talk about the show in depth in just a few moments, but I'd like to get a little bit of a background on the both of you. Claire, this is one of your second or third? Second. However, audiences may not realize that your history at Gallery Theater goes back a little before that.
Just a couple years. Actually, the first time I technically performed on stage at Gallery, I was still in utero. And my mom, who's actually the costumer for this show, was in a Gallery production in 1985. So I know this theater very, very well, and I'm familiar.
Yes, that was The King
and I. Mm-hmm, yes.
Right? And your mom actually was opposite Adam Ewing, who is still seen at Gallery occasionally acting and occasionally directing, so it hasn't been that long ago.
I know, and I ran into his son actually when I directed my first show at Gallery in 2021, who was doing choreography for a show. So it's just a nice full circle moment for the local community theater crowd.
So you come from Salem
yes.
to us, and you've had lots of experience up in the Salem area. Tell us a little about your background.
Yeah, so I actually have a lot of background as a costumer and actor. I'm fairly new to directing, but I've been doing theater since I was about 16 years old. So I've worked with, I currently work with a local Shakespeare company called Struts and Frets Theater Company. I've worked at Pentacle, I've worked at Kaiser Homegrown, and I've costume shows, been in shows. I'm very, very passionate about just being involved and engaged in the community, and I've done paid acting work too, but there's something about community theater that just is unmatched. So,
So what got you interested in coming here to McMinnville?
Well, Seth is actually responsible. Seth Rennie, the manager of Gallery. He reached out to me. He saw a production of Enchanted April that I directed and said, "I really like your voice. I'd be interested in bringing it out to McMinnville." And we talked about a couple different shows that we were interested in. And I talked about really enjoying both farce and murder mysteries. And he was like, let's do an Agatha Christie. And so this show is one I've performed in previously, and I love the complexity of it. It's like a puzzle, getting to put it together with the audience and with the actors. So I said, let's do it. Let's go.
That's great. Well, Katrina, I guess we should sort of welcome you to the area. You're something of a newcomer to the McMinnville area.
Yes.
Tell us a little about who you are, where you been, what have you been doing, where you been, Ralphie?
Well, I'm the opposite of Claire in that I just started doing stuff with Gallery Theater when we moved here in the end of April this year. So I've only lived in McMinnville for 5-6 months. Previous to living here, I was in New Zealand for 2020 during 2021. I am a physician. I'm an emergency medicine physician, and so I was able to go and do a job there for a year. And then before that, I had been in Astoria, living on the coast. I've done theater a lot. I did theater when I was a young person, when I was like in teens, high school age, and then even a little in college, and then after college with community theater like Spokane Civic Theater and some stuff in Olympia. But then I went to medical school, and you don't have a huge amount of time to do theater.
I guess.
We did do a production of the Vagina Monologues, and so I was in that. Yes. So, and then after finishing residency, I had moved to the coast, the Oregon coast, and my sister, who did sets for the Coaster Theater, she said, "Hey, you should audition. You used to do theater a long time ago. You should go and audition for a play." And so, just like literally got in my car that afternoon and drove down and auditioned for Blythe Spirit, which was in I think 2017, and I remembered how much I loved theater and that I missed it, and I've done shows off and on ever since.
That's one show I've never been part of, is Blythe Spirit. I've had opportunities in the past. I think it was the first production ever down south at Pinnacle Theater back in 1954.
It's a classic.
It's a classic,
yeah.
tried and true.
I was Ruth. I got to come back as a ghost.
Oh,
So
that's always
kinda
fun.
yeah.
Fun makeup, was it?
Yeah, it was really fun because they had two different outfits that were made of, one was maroon when I was living, and then the same outfit but in gray. And then I would go backstage, powder myself up, put powder in my hair to make myself, white it out, and then put the gray outfit on and come back on with the same hair, but just everything was gray. And it was a really fun effect to have that. I thought it was very clever. So
Nothing like slathering that stuff on with a deadline.
weeks later, it's still getting it out of you. Yeah. Oh, theater makeup.
Well, let's talk a little bit about And Then There Were None. This is, again, Agatha Christie. Talk a little bit about, no spoilers here.
No spoilers.
Okay.
You have to come see the show.
Yes, but
What you can expect, though, is the beautiful thing about Christie is, even if you've heard this story before, even if you've seen this production, odds are you've probably forgotten who actually did it. And that's the point, is the misdirection and trying to remember who done it. And it's just a neat departure from, it's not really comedy and it's not tragedy, but it's something in between that you get to enjoy some suspense and pique your curiosity a little bit.
I think it might be safe to mention that there are multiple endings
Oh, yes.
to this
yes.
play.
There are multiple ways you can end the production, which is pretty neat. So, for those who are familiar with And Then There Were None, you definitely have to come to see which ending we decided to do, if nothing else, know. So,
Right.
yeah, we got to choose how we wanted to conclude our performance.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about a group of people
Yes.
who have been invited to
A mysterious island off the coast of Devon in London. And they're all invited there for very different reasons. And for this dinner party, and all of a sudden, someone is dead. And they don't know who did it. And all of the reasons they are there are completely different. So they start to try and unravel the real reason behind their being gathered there on that island.
And you are amongst the invitees.
I am, yes. I was invited to be the secretary of the homeowner, mysterious homeowner, Mrs. Owen. I just accepted a post having never met her. So I show up for my first day at work onto an island, thinking I'm going to be the secretary of this wealthy lady who lives in this fabulous big house. And that does not transpire.
Not quite.
No, things go awry.
Now, we're going to continue with this. I want to remind or tell audiences that this show opens October 21st. I hope you got your paper and pencil handy. October 21st runs through November 6th. So there will be 9 performances. Oh, and real quick, tell us about a special performance for the show.
Yes, the Saturday of the second weekend of performances, so that would be the 29th, right around Halloween. There's going to be a special raffle of some items from downtown McMinnville, some goodies that are tied in with the show. So if you purchase a ticket for that day, for that performance, you get entered to win whatever that might be. So it's, again, a nice little suspenseful surprise for our audience that attends.
But it's not going to be anything weird like in House on Haunted Hill where the gifts are in little coffins.
No, this is like good surprise. You'll be glad that you get it's just a chance to get to, again, community theater, connect with the community, connect with the theater, and come have a night of really great entertainment.
So evening shows always begin at 7:30. Friday and Saturday, then there's a matinee performance on Sunday at 2 o'clock, and again this will be over 3 weekends beginning on October 21st. Now there are a number of people in this cast. Let's talk about some of the other performers here.
Yes, so we've also got Ben Lapp, who does a lot of our set construction. He's our boatswain, Narracott. We've got Kathy Willoughby and Chuck Weed, who is new to the theater. They play our Mr. and Mrs. Rogers, our maid, and butler. Thank you, yes. And then we have Webb Thomas is playing Lombard, our kind of war hero. You are playing Sir Justice Wargrave, so a judge of the High Court. And then we have Larissa Miller is playing Toni Marston. We have Teresa Waite plays Dr. Evelyn Armstrong. Soren Smithrud plays William Henry Bloor. And let's see, who am I missing here? Stan Smith plays General Mackenzie. Thank you so much. And I think that's yes, I got everybody.
Like you covered all the performers. Teresa Waite and Soren Smithrud were last seen in The Graduate a couple of years ago, though it feels like a long time ago because of that lovely pandemic we just went through. Larissa
she was just in Barefoot in the Park.
Barefoot in the Park. But as you mentioned...
And you and I, we were in Mamma Mia.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, Katrina was in the ensemble in Mamma Mia, along with your husband Derek, who we had on this show.
Yeah, he was Sam.
I had a brief...
but very important.
A brief appearance, as it were. Yeah, well,
dressed as the Pope.
A little less brief in this show.
Yeah, very much so.
A little less brief. So I guess the one spoiler I can give you is that it's a heck of a lot of fun being out there.
Oh yeah.
And you also have a production team. Let's touch on some of the important people behind the scenes.
Yeah. So my spouse Ryan is assistant directing. This is his first opportunity to do that. And then our technical director for the show, their name is Mariah Goodall. They are a graduate from Western Oregon University. We work together at a summer children's theater program, and so they are doing all the set design, lighting design, sound, props, all of it. There's some fun play with some figurines and some small icons that go missing throughout the show as well. And so it's been a fun challenge for them to get to do that. My mom, Shala Colson, is costuming. And then we've got, I think that's pretty much our team right now. Oh, Jordan, thank you very much. Jordan Gallegos is our stage manager. I'm thinking behind the scenes. And so she will be doing all of the run of show basically when we get into production. So we have a great team behind, we have a great team on stage, and it takes a lot of people to keep a production going, that's for sure.
Does it ever.
So as both of you can attest, certainly that part of the fun, again, no spoilers here, part of the fun is figuring out how to logistically set up or establish a situation whereby someone is going to die.
Yes, it's kind of bizarre to be plotting people's deaths.
I know.
In your room with others.
And then how it could have been anyone in the room might have been responsible or involved in some way. It's kind of like, of course you can't go rewind, but it is one of those shows you do kind of want to watch because there might be something subtle happening somewhere that's not the main action that might give you a clue as to what's really going on here. It's one of those things, it's like a movie. If you could watch it again, you'd be like, oh, I didn't see that the first time.
That's where it was.
Right. And so there are things happening that you may not realize are important until after the fact. So.
And I gotta admit, there's a part of me that hopes someone comes to see the show twice just so they can missed that the first time around.
Yeah.
We would love that. Honestly, I get to see little bits and pieces each night, and I watch it from different angles. It's neat the way we've set it up too. The audience is very much involved in this production. It's in a thrust setting, so the audience is right up against the action. So you're going to see as Katrina likes to say, the quiver of the lip.
Yeah, you get to be very close to us. Even if you're in the back row, you're still at most maybe 15 feet from actors at times. So there's an intimacy to the theater that's as an actor I love.
And with that in mind, I also should remind audiences that a COVID policy still does exist. At this time, masks are not required, but you will be asked at the door to provide information as far as
either vaccination or
a recent negative test. So I wanted to pass that along to you just in case you're taken by surprise when you show up at the theater. So anyway, hey, it's great to have you both here.
Oh, so great to be here.
We open, I can say open on October 21st, Agatha Christie's, and Then There Were None. Thank you so much for being with me here today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And for McMinnville Community Media, I'll see you at the theater. you.